Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use saturation on drums and why it's a good technique to use. So saturation is essentially a soft distortion that adds extra harmonics to whatever source you're applying it to. This adds a lot of colour and gives it a lot of tone. And the reason we want to do that on drums is because it makes it sound nice and crisp and makes it sound really full and can make it sound very forward in the mix. So the main aspect of how to do this is to set up a saturation on a bus that your drums are being sent to. So I've got all my drums except for the kick, which I'll explain why in a minute, going to this bus here which I've put a saturation on. Now there's a couple of ways we can do this, in that we can either use the softube saturation knob that I've also done a video on. It's a third-party plugin, all completely free, really easy to use, and this is the one that I personally would choose to use. Or we can use the Logic saturation, which is in Fat Effects. And it's okay, I don't personally use it when I have the saturation knob instead, but to do this all we need to do is we need to go in and turn everything else off that isn't our distortion, just so we're not affecting it in any other way. So I've got our distortion here and we can select soft saturation and just make sure it's just, we can use two to kind of get a different blend, which we can't necessarily do with the softube, but the softube is a better saturation overall. So I'll just demonstrate it on this because the principle is exactly the same. It's just applying saturation to your drums through a bus. So here's what the drums sound like normally. I've just soloed them without the kick. And we're just going to turn the saturation up on here and maybe just a little bit on this second one as well. And we'll start bringing it in on the bus. So first of all you can hear it's louder, but it's also just crisper and has some more tone to it. Now of course we don't want to confuse it being louder with it sounding better, so we just want to turn it down on our fader to kind of compensate for that. And then with it in the mix, those hi-hats and the snare are really coming through, just with that extra bit of distortion and harmonics on there, makes it sound really colourful. And now for the kick. So I'd actually use a different saturation for the kick, or certainly a different amount, because of the different frequencies used in it. So I'll just solo the kick and have a listen to what that sounds like. And then again we'll just start to bring in the saturation. So you can hear it got quite loud, it's really starting to come through a bit more. So we'll just listen to it in context with the mix as well. So obviously the kick's really quite loud here, we're just going to drop it down. So adding saturation to your drums is actually just a really easy technique that you can use to give it a bit more colour, make it sound a bit more lively. I would recommend using the softube plugin. Again, as I said, it's completely free and really easy to install. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.